What happens, what goes on in your mind when you get up in the morning? Is it hard? Are some days harder than others?
Yeah.
What happens on those really hard days? What is it that gets you, that inspires you to come in? Anybody?
Mine is the relationships that I formed with students. And each student is different depending on the age group, 7th and 9th, and also what class period, who they're around also affects how they act in each class, which in return affects the relationship that I have with them. But I have ninth graders that I don't even teach anymore that always want to come by and share how they're doing and ask me what can they do to help me. They always want to help grade or clean or something because they know I don't have a planning period, a full dedicated planning hour. So they try to help me. And then also my 7th graders, they know they like to come in and share their stories. As soon as I can hear them coming down the hall, miss that. They come in, some story, sometimes it's having to do with something funny that happened in gym, but sometimes it's about their family, whatever it may be about, but it's something they feel that they should share with me because they know it will make me laugh or smile. And then it's also, they just enjoy coming in and talking to me. And then with building that relationship, they feel comfortable coming to ask me questions, dealing with their homework. When I first came in, this is my first year teaching. When I first came in, I had students who wouldn't talk or wouldn't even look at me. And now those are the students who I can't get to go away. They're always like, Miss Sapp, I need help. But I appreciate that. I'm glad they come and ask for help. But building those relationships so they come in and feel comfortable asking. And then there's a lot of things that if I would have known what I know now back then, everything would have been different. But now that I know that, I kind of know how to take them and take their grade. Some students who make an 80, that's excellent. And then there's some students, like Ashley said earlier, who are just numbers driven. And I kind of know how to take them now that I've learned relationship. But so it's the relationship that I build with my students makes me want to come to school.
Thanks. Others, you're inspired how?
Well, I'll share a story, and this actually happened this year, and this is my 6th or 7th year, I don't know, I've lost count already, in education. And one day I was in my office and a teacher sent a student down because they did not bring their materials to class. Didn't have a pencil, nothing. So I started talking to this boy, and he started opening up about his home life. He started opening up about the monetary situation. He started opening up about how his mother had just given up his custody 4 times and just turned him over to whoever would take him. And he told me, he said, I sleep on a couch, I don't have a bedroom, everybody in the house goes to sleep. But he looked at me, and he's not a good student, he's failing his classes, and he gets in trouble every day. And he looked at me and he said that I look forward to coming to school every day. And I told myself right then in my office, look at what this kid comes from, and look at what he's coming to school. He knows he's not successful. He has a hard time behaving, but yet he still is excited to come to school every day. And from that point on, like every time I think about it, I want to cry. Like from that point on, I told myself, Ashley, this is the reason that you're coming to school. It's because he is inspired to come. You need to come be his reason. You need to be that inspiration. And if he can come from that situation, and he can come to school knowing that he might not be successful that day, and he might have a bad day, and he might get in trouble. Good likelihood here lately for him. And if he can have that attitude coming to school, I need to have that attitude coming to school to know that there are hundreds of kids just like him who need that. I come from a good situation, and I come into an even better situation, I think. So that's what inspires me to come to school, are those stories, those experiences.
Or the fear that they won't have that.
Exactly.
I think when I first started, I was corny, just kind of the Sunday school answer. I was so excited about the subject area and sharing this love of the subject area with students and forming those relationships and getting them to relate to the text or getting them to relate to whatever we were covering in English that day. And then about probably a couple years ago, I'm the veteran. I feel old. I'm the veteran at this table, but a couple years ago, I was writing on the board, and it was like, it's not about English. It's not about
Pause.
that. And I think it took me a long time, like you're saying, it took me probably about 7 years of just kind of, and I felt like, okay, I've got this together. I came to a point where, you know, I really wouldn't have to plan all that much as you will come to that point eventually.
I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing. I kind of felt secure in that, and then it's just in the middle of a grammar exercise, I thought, what does this matter? What does this matter to these students? And it just kind of took my breath. I think I was like, and the kids, they probably didn't notice anything, but it was a huge turning point in my career because it became more spiritual. It became more, what are you here on for a daily basis? It's not about the academics. It's more the influence you have.
I've been challenged to understand how to communicate with my kids better. Unfortunately, in the area, when I teach, many of my kids are at risk. Some of them don't know where their next meal's going to come from or where they're going to put their head down tonight. Being able to balance that knowledge with what I'm challenged to teach them is really, that's a process I've been going through the last 2 years since I've become a full-time teacher. And I look at that and I love the kids that will come into my class, irregardless of their social economic status, and be open-minded and have the desire and want to learn something. Those are the ones that will ask you the questions that are, you realize they don't quite understand it, but when you see the light come on in their eyes, that makes I have to concur and agree with these ladies. There are certainly mornings I have no desire to get up and come here. Yet I'm driven because I've given my word I'll be here. And people depend on me to be here, as with all of us. And even on those difficult mornings, all it takes is one encounter with one child where you see a big smile, or you know you've made something that they won't, you've taught them something, but they won't forget it. And the rest of it is history. You forget about it. It's poof, it's gone. You're moving forward, and you're continuing on. And I think I know for me, it's that ability to take and have a few moments with one of these children somewhere in my classroom discussing no matter what we're talking about, to get those little aha moments. Because there's no amount of money in the world that can ever buy that. And yet, I can honestly say, after working in a number of different professional careers, this is the most challenging thing I've ever done in my whole entire life. But I truly love it. And that's why I'm here.